Hey, it's Tim.
And it's Amy from GoWithLess. We're really glad you're here with us today. In this week's video, we're sharing our January spending with you. We hope you'll stay tuned to the whole video.
Every Wednesday here on our channel, we come out with a new video, typically talking about our early retirement or our nomadic lifestyle. In 2015, we left our careers in our late 40s, and in January of 2020, we sold our home and became full-time nomads.
We hope you'll subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, and let's talk money.
Yep. So every second Wednesday of the month, we talk about what we spent for the prior month. We target spending $3,000 a month, and we actually kind of made that last year. We spent about $36,000 for the year, and then we decided at the end of the year we were going to give away about $4,000, so we ended up spending $40,000 for the year of 2020. This $3,000 a month isn't necessarily anything to do with our safe withdrawal rate. Our safe withdrawal rate actually gives us quite a bit more headroom for spending. It's just a number that we've settled on, that we feel comfortable with, and we thought in 2020 that was going to be blown out of the water because our plans originally had us out of the country a lot, and we were planning to take advantage of geographic arbitrage, and that didn't happen, but we still made our 36K pretty much work for us. That's right, ish. And so we'll see how it works in 2021.
So to set the stage, I'm going to share where we were for the month of January. We started off in Scottsdale, Arizona. We were at a house sit, and we were there until January the 4th. We got in our car and drove 2 days to Central Texas, just north of Austin. And we were at another house sit for the entire remainder of the month of January. What that meant is that we had only 1 day of the entire month where we weren't house sitting, and we ended up using points at IHG that we collected via a credit card. So we had no expenses for our home for the month of January, which was super cool.
That was. So our largest expense as we get going here with the numbers for the month of January is going to be auto and transportation. We spent $1,419 in this category, and the largest chunk of that was new tires that we had for our car. So when we registered our car in late December online, whenever we showed back up in Texas, we were going to have an inspection. So you don't have to do that if you're out of the state, but then you have to, as soon as you get back in the state, you have to sign up. So we spent 20 bucks when we showed up for an inspection, and they said, you can't pass. You basically need to go and get new tires in order to pass inspection. So I went the following day to Costco. We spent $818 on new tires for our car. Went back and got our inspection all taken care of, and that was the largest chunk of this auto and transportation category. Thank
goodness, with all of the driving that we've done across the United States, we were okay with tires that didn't pass inspection.
They weren't bald or anything. They were just, we needed new tires.
Yeah, so thankfully we didn't have any problems. But on the other side, we are looking to be abroad, and we'll not be needing a car soon enough once we can get abroad. So it kind of was like, darn that we have to buy new tires when we may not be needing a car as early as June. Okay, so I'm gonna still in this auto and transportation category take on another expense, which was 6 months of our car insurance. We get that with Geico, $350 for 6 months. Now we had quite a bit of gas because we did a big 2-day drive, and that was $183 from Arizona to Texas. So that also included our driving around Texas. And then we had $49 for a Frontier status match. They were doing this at the end of 2020 because Tim has a Southwest Companion Pass. They counted that, and it was a $49 application fee, I guess it was. And we don't even know that we're going to take any flights with Frontier. It was only for this year, but I don't know, it was for $49. We really hemmed and hawed about it, even though it was $49. And even though we don't know that we're going to be taking any flights on Frontier, we decided just to bite the bullet and to try it out.
If we get on one flight with Frontier, which there's some chance we don't, it'll be money well spent. So our second largest category for the month of January is going to be health and fitness. We spent $1,297 for the month, and the largest part of that was an expense for me, and that was a trip to the hospital, and that was $1,065 that we spent for that trip to the hospital. And this actually happened in late December, around the 29th. I was having some stomach pain. I thought maybe this will just pass. After about 90 minutes of severe pain, I decided I need to go to the hospital and see if it was a kidney stone or something that needed some immediate attention.
A gallbladder, spleen rupture.
So we had no clue what it was. So I went to the hospital, and the waiting room was, I went through triage. I was waiting in the waiting room. Amy had to go home. She couldn't wait there with me. And
because of COVID.
That's right. So there are people in the waiting room who said, we've been here 3 hours and haven't seen anybody. There's somebody in the waiting room wearing a mask. They took down their mask to cough in the waiting room. So this didn't feel like a safe place to be. I had a conversation with a triage nurse and said, if I come back tomorrow, is there a good time where I might just be able to get right in? She said, yeah, if you come back at 7 a.m., there's a good chance you'll just get right in. Or I thought maybe this would just pass and I wouldn't even have to go back. Well, sure enough, at 7 a.m. in the morning, I decided I did need to go back. I went back, spent about 3 hours working through everything, and they told me that I had a mild case of diverticulitis. And so this was, for me, it wasn't crazy in terms of the ongoing issue, but I've heard people had to have surgery associated with this, so I feel quite lucky that it's all that it was. The bill, my $1,000, $1,065 that I paid, the actual bill was over $6,000. When I was there in the hospital, they said if you make below a certain amount of income and the fact that you don't have normal insurance, we'll give you an 84% discount, just a self-pay rate. And then there's actually some more discount if you can provide your tax returns and bank statements and other stuff.
To prove that you can't,
you basically
need
don't have, you really need the assistance. And so we ended up paying $1,065 for this 3-hour visit to the hospital.
Now, could you imagine? So 2 times I had to drop Tim off at the hospital, and our home was half an hour away. So they wouldn't let me in. Now, whenever Tim goes to the hospital or doctor, I ask all the questions so that I know what Tim's not going to ask the questions. So I want to understand what's going on and how do I help him in the future. He's had all kinds of weird health issues, and unfortunately, I wasn't allowed to be there. And how scary it was because I had no idea what was happening. So it was awful, and the waiting was just horrific. So make sure that you are keeping yourselves healthy because nobody needs to be in the hospital now for unless you really need to go. Yeah, so be super careful because it was not good. Okay, and also, I'm going to say something else about this as well. So we had Liberty Health Shares for 2020. In November, when they jacked up their rates, actually they jacked up the rates in October. In November, we decided to take an option that they had to lower our monthly premiums to have a sky-high deductible. So because we were done with all of our general doctor's visits and it was November, we decided to take that option. So it's not like we're in the hospital very rarely. So very, very rarely. So we only had 2 months left to the year, and we decided to opt for that very high deductible plan. So what that meant, it was kind of bad timing. So what that meant is that none of this was going to be covered by Liberty. And then here we were 2-3 days later getting ready to start really good insurance on the Texas ACA, which happened like 3 days later and wasn't going to help us for Tim's visit. So it's kind of like, so here's the challenge is that we were like, should you even go to the hospital? Like, and the fact that we had to really think about that was so unfortunate.
Yeah, so the problem is some of the issues that you can think of that you might have when you have stomach issues are life-threatening, and so that's a reason to go.
Of course.
Also, even if we were on the old version of the Liberty plan, we still would have been out at least $1,000. And probably even if we were on our new insurance, just because it's also a high deductible plan, we would have been out some probably decent chunk of money associated with this hospital visit, no matter what. But it just feels better knowing that there are some limits with our current insurance in terms of what we could possibly be out of pocket. And so we're happy to be on our new insurance.
And even though your visit was in December, we were billed in January, and we have also, we're not done yet. Not only was that $1,065, that was just for the hospital piece. Now we have to still pay for the radiologist piece who read his CT scan. That was $700, and I called. I said, hey, can we get a similar 84% discount for the reading of the CT scan that wasn't included in the $3,000 CT scan? So we don't know. The problem with hospitals here in the States is you don't know when the bills end. You just know that you haven't got bills for a while, and I guess that's it. So it's a really weird way. You have no idea what things cost up front, and you have no idea when it's over. So we still know that we're going to be, I wouldn't say we've asked for a negotiated different amount. They did say that they're going to take at least a month, the radiologist, to figure that out. So we are still paying for this. This is not over at $1,065. Yeah. Okay, now I'm going to chat just for a couple seconds about our new insurance. So we are establishing new doctors here in Austin. We are on a HMO ACA plan, and that requires us to have referrals for everything. Both of us had quite a bit of reservations, I guess, about our new plan that was going to require referrals, and there were no other options for us. It was referrals or nothing. So fortunately, we found a primary doctor that we have really liked, and they are very, very speedy and easy with the referrals, which was great because we went to go see a dermatologist. I have my first colonoscopy coming up. Just a variety of doctor's appointments while we're here. We're establishing all new doctors here, and we've actually been quite glad and very, I don't know, we got really good referrals from local people, and we've been really, really happy with the quality of care that we've had, and I think it's nice to be on regular insurance again. So that's very reassuring.
Yeah, and so we spent $230 on those doctor visits. So that was the end of our health and fitness category.
Okay, that was a lot.
Our third largest category is going to be food and dining, where we spent $744 this month, $545 on groceries, and $199 dining out.
And I'm seeing that our groceries are creeping up, and I think it's because we are cooking a lot at home. We're deciding to cook a little more involved things, and that means that we have to buy all these ingredients. In our old regular home life, I had the most full pantry of every spice, every ingredient, every vinegar and condiment you could imagine. But now I don't have that because we're traveling with all of this all over the place. We bring some of it from place to place, but not all of it. So we're buying things that kind of like we're buying ingredients that are going into recipes, and it's resulting in quite a bit higher monthly grocery costs, and I think our old life was about between $300 and $400. Now it's closer to $500 or $600, and I think that's why. But we do eat healthier when we're at home, and we have better quality food, I think, when we're at home as well.
Yep. So our next category is going to be home and lodging, which is $171 this month. I think for most people, this is probably the largest category in their budget. For us, it's very variable depending on what's going on. But the two things that really made up this $171 was $99 for a credit card renewal, which gives us a free night of lodging, so that's why it's in this category, and then $67 for some storage that we have, a 10x10 storage unit that has some of our remaining belongings in it.
Okay, next up, bills and utilities, $47. We have my cell phone in there, which is Google Fi, and Paperspace, which is Tim's
virtual machine.
His virtual machine.
It's just a computer that lives out in the cloud that I play with, and so I do some things on it. But it's just for most purposes, it's just there as a toy.
And that's $12 a month. His Paperspace. Now Tim uses Mint Mobile for his cell phone. He pays for that once a year. I'm going to put up a video here if you haven't checked that out before about our cell phone service. We're both really happy. It's very affordable, each one of our very different plans. And down below we have referral links for those as well. So in the past we've been putting Paperspace in our shopping category. I made a case for that today to end up in bills and utilities. It's not really shopping. I think of shopping as stuff, and I don't know that Tim's virtual machine made sense to be in shopping. So it's up in bills and utilities from now on.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Our next category is going to be entertainment. We spent $20 in this category, and this is 100% actually streaming services. So it's Spotify, Hulu, Netflix, and then we have a PBS we also subscribe to, so we have a small fee associated with that.
And then, so then we have shopping, which is $0 for January. Really happy about that. Taxes, $0. And miscellaneous is negative $89. We canceled the credit card and we're refunded the annual fee because it was canceled really right up front. So we had paid that in our December numbers. We got it refunded in our January numbers.
Yeah. Then our last and final category is going to be business, and it's going to be negative $144. This was some software that I signed up for in December. I renewed in December, and then I actually got the money back for that software. I didn't use it. It's animation software. It's called Animaker that I was using to make the animated numbers that pop up on the screen, which $144 was a lot
what you're seeing
for that
now.
solution anyway. And I found a free way to do it, so we didn't need to keep that subscription. So we got $144.
And that was a year. So $144 a year for the money slide that you're seeing on this video.
It was ridiculous.
Is a lot of money.
And I found a way to do it for free, which is
That's
crazy.
better.
Yeah, and I had some bigger plans for Animaker, so it wasn't just the animated text. But anyway, those fell through. I don't need it anymore.
That means that our January spending was $3,465. Now, while that is over our $3,000 preferred, we had two enormous outliers that were unexpected, both Tim's hospital visit and our tires. And between the two of them, that was close to $2,000 of a $3,000 budget. So of course, it was going to be pretty tough to overcome that, but life happens and those outlier things do happen, and that's why we spend less than we can.
Yeah, those two things, if we took those out of our budget, this would have been the lowest spending month we've had in the past 13 months.
Since we've been nomads.
Since we've been nomads.
Which is pretty crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, anyway, So what's going to be our question for this month, Amy?
Our question this month is what I want to know is, what was your biggest outlier expense, unexpected expense in 2020? So not only would I like to know what it was, but how much did it cost? Do you know what your biggest, whatever popped out of nowhere, what was it for 2020? Or if you even had something for January like we did, let us know. And this would have been our biggest outlier expense, I'm going to guess, for the entire year as well. Like those were two biggies.
Yep,
so yeah, so we will be back next Wednesday. Thanks for watching.
Adios.